Sure.
Teach.
Welcome to Design 201. Here you'll be learning how to create an incremental game, aka a game where you can click and earn a currency, and then buy consumables for upgrades, rinse and repeat. Alright, follow me to step 1. Welcome to Design 201. Welcome to Design 201. Hey, welcome to this course. In this course, I'll be teaching you 3 steps to create and design your very own incremental game. Alright, this is step 1. If you already did Circuits 103, then you should be familiar with this. We're going to be taking a recap on how to create your basic system of an incremental game. Alright, let's get started. For this course, the theme is going to be about creating lattes and holding a coffee shop. In front of you, you'll already notice that there is a button and a text deck. Let's first start by taking out our MakerPad. Open your watch, go to Backpack, and press Use on MakerPad. Great! Press Next when you're ready for the next step. Hey, welcome to this course. In this course, I'll be teaching you. We're going to create a variable chip. More specifically, an integer variable chip. To do this, let's quickly open our MakerPad menu and head to Palette. Let's search for a variable, and we specifically want the int variable chip. Let's spawn it next to our button. Press Next when you're ready. Next, we're going to configure this variable by going to Tools on our MakerPad and selecting Configure. Then, selecting our variable itself. In Circuits 103, I showed you how you can create a variable that can only affect the player only. The problem is, it only works in the instance they're in. So if this player would leave the room and come back, this variable would reset to 0. This is something we're going to fix here. So let's start by naming our variable something unique. We're going to name it lattes in this case. Press Submit. Press Next when you're ready to continue. Next, we're going to configure this variable by going to Tools on our MakerPad and selecting Configure. Then, I showed you how you air only. The problem is, it only works in the menu. Now you might notice that the variable chip now has the name latte on it, which is great, that's exactly what we want. But it's not done yet. We still need to make it, so it's a cloud variable. What is a cloud variable? A cloud variable allows you to store data on the servers, so that the next time the player loads back into your room, they have the same variable that they last had when you last set it. To do this, let's configure the chip again and toggle cloud variable. You cannot have cloud variable and sync toggled on at the same time. It can only be one or the other. So let's make sure we have cloud variable. You'll notice that it's enabled with the little cloud icon next to your name. If you have any other variables with that same name, they will automatically be converted into a cloud variable. Press Next when you're ready to continue. Next, we want to add 1 every time you click on the button. So to do this, let's quickly spawn an add chip. Then let's select the... Next, we're going to configure this variable by Now you might notice that the variable want to add 1 every time you click on the button. So to do this, let's quickly spawn an add chip. Then let's select the connect tool under tools, and let's connect our first value to what our integer variable is, which in this example, I have already done this setup and clicked the button 180 times. Then let's connect the sum back to the input port, and let's configure by clicking once with the wire tool quickly on the second value port. Let's configure this to 1. So now, when we press our button, our latte's variable will add 1. Great! We're done with that part. We want to add 1 every time you click on the button. So to do this, let's quickly spawn an add chip.
Hey, did I get that on the first try?
Then let's select that part. Next, we want to set our text. What we could do is we could have the execution of clicking on the latte go directly to the text. But there is a better way we can do it, and that's going to be introducing the variable changed event. So to do this, go back to your palette and search for event receiver. Spawn an event receiver, then go back to your tools and hit configure. Configure the chip, and under the event tab, look for the name of your variable with change after. So in this case, latte's changed. Press next when you're ready to continue. Alright, next, let's go back to tools and select the connect tool. Let's connect our latte's change to the set text execution. But right now we're not setting any text. So let's fix that. We need to convert our latte's variable into a readable string text. A string is basically a series of text that can be read from circuits. To do this, open your palette and search for the toString chip. Connect it to your variable like so, and connect the result to the text input. Great! Now, you can press the button, and the text will increase with your value. And if you leave the room and come back, what should happen is it should show up, except that's not the case. Press next when you're ready to continue. So we're just missing one more thing. We need to make it so your text gets set to your variable when you join the room. To do this, it's pretty simple. We're going to need 2 chips. The first is an event receiver. So let's open the palette and search for event receiver and spawn it. Let's configure it with the configure tool. Under the events tab, let's look for the player join event. Player join will fire for every players in the room for the orange pin, and the yellow player pin will say which player joined. We don't really want that. We want it to only fire for you, yourself. Plus, we also want that text to only display your own values. So quickly to do this, we're going to go back to palette and look for if player is local. Spawn it right next to that player join chip, and use the connect tool to make sure the player input is connected to the player output. Then we want it so if the player is your local player, if that is you when you're joining, then you set your own text, like so. Press next when you're ready to continue. The final step is simply to go to our tools and select configure, and then configure our text, and making sure that the synced checkbox right here is disabled and not enabled. The default one should look like this. You want it to look like this. And that's it. Now you can click, and it will increase, and if you were to save your own room with this setup, and then leave, and come back, your variable would stay the same. You can find a good example of this after the course. Alright, follow me to the second step, where I'll be teaching you how to create and configure your very own room currency, consumables, and what are some good practices when using them. Hey there again. Alright, welcome to the second video of this course.